to have been loved so deeply, even though the person who loved us is gone, will grant us some protection forever. My life is very complicated, as most people's lives are, so condensing it down to 3 books that represent me the best is a difficult procedure. But I feel I've come to the task of these 3 books because they have impacted me and they are the things that help me mold the way I approach the world. The first book in that is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And the other 2 books are Wonder and Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by Rick. So, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone helps represent me because it represents my fear of death and also my acceptance of it, but also that represents the bravery that you must feel. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone represents my acceptance of death because, as Albus Dumbledore says, death to a well-organized mind is not something to be feared. This saved me from many sleepless nights of being afraid of death because I understood it as something that should not be feared and something that should be accepted and you should not fear it because it is something that naturally happens to everyone. So there's no point in being afraid of it. So Harry Potter also represents bravery because in the end of the first book, Neville stands up to his friends and he's rewarded for it in the end because he gets the points that win the House Cup. This shows that you should be brave even if the people you have to be brave to are people you consider friends. So my second book that represents me is Wonder by R.J. Paliso. That helps represent me because it shows empathy and kindness that I try and put into the world. So it represents that by this quote, which says, "You should be kinder than is necessary because it is not enough to be kind. One should be kinder than needed." This shows that you should be kinder than you believe you should be because you want to put more kindness into the world than there already is. And that's something I try and do every day. And is Mr. Brown's September Precept, which is something that the teacher in the book did every month, where he wrote an inspiring quote down. So the quote was, "When given the choice between being right or being kind, choose kind." This quote shows that you should be kind and compassionate to people you meet instead of just trying to always be right. Because being kind to someone and being nice to them should be more important to people than being right all the time. So, the third book was Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. And this book helped me decide how to approach the problems in life. Because even though I'm not going to be fighting a titan, I still have a lot of problems that are important to me that I want to fix. So one of the quotes that exemplifies that is, "If my life is going to mean anything, I have to live it myself." This quote shows that you can't just hide behind something. You have to actually face your life. It's your job to actually to do it. So another quote that represents is "Go on with what your heart tells you or you will lose all." That quote shows that you have to listen to your heart and do what you think is right, even if that is hard or is difficult and it might hurt. These 3 books really help represent me for who I am, and these books have had some of the biggest influences on my life as well as representing me. And I hope they will help me live a prosperous life in the future.